shit. Lord Beerus has arrived. SH figuarts, Lord Beerus has arrived today. Maribel, what do you think? Screw you too. Yo, what is up, fellow Trojans and loyal vassals? I'm a little bit late to the party. I'm pretty sure you've already seen quite a few reviews of Lord Beerus, but I thought I'd give my 2 cents on this figure. So in terms of articulation, I'll tell you right now, it's pretty nothing too fancy. I will say I'm a little disappointed in certain areas that I wish he had a little bit more going on. Specifically the diaper look, which has been a standard for most SH figuarts Dragon Ball Z figures up to recently, and I'm tired of it because it makes them look like they have a diaper on. But I'm getting ahead of myself, and in terms of accessories, he is also lacking a bit. Overall, I'm pleased with the figure, but I think they could have included a little bit more. I guess that's I kind of started with my final thoughts right off the bat, but I will say I noticed that on the paint app, or I guess his head, like the entirety of his head, has a nice matte finish. However, throughout the rest of the body, it's very shiny, like glossy. So you notice how it's all like your typical kind of plastic. Also, he has these unfortunately, some gross looking blotches. I don't know what that would be like when they're molding it. I don't know the right words I'm thinking of, but there's that on mine. That is unfortunate, but as you can see, his skin, on the purple skin around here, it looks very like shiny compared to his head, which is very matte. That's a minor thing, but it bothers me. I don't know if it will bother you, but there's that. I'm also surprised that this little fabric thing, the paint doesn't rub off on his pants, because actually it's not painted on the back or on the sides, I think. Hold on. Yeah, no, it's only on the front that's painted. So the paint does not rub off here because it doesn't have any. Also, is very unsightly. The back of his leg is very gross looking because they had to mold it so he had so he can bend his knee. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to do that. But that is unfortunate because it looks very concave. But there's that. Overall, I like him, but it still bothers me that his entirety of his head is a matte finish, while everything else is very shiny. Anyways, he has 2 ball joints, one at the bottom of the neck and one at the head. In my opinion, most of the movement, it comes from the top of the ball joint. This one, not so much. This one, it does move with the head, but I'd say most of the articulation is coming from the head, top of the head. This entire collar piece is obviously supposed to be one solid piece, but in order to give him the shoulder articulation, they had to like cut off the collar and peg them onto his shoulder. It is a sacrifice they had to make in order to give him that shoulder articulation. And unfortunately, from the back, it looks very unsightly. I keep saying words the same, but anyways, yeah, it kind of looks gross. It kind of looks like he just popped a pimple, like it was and then left a little concave hole. That's a gross analogy, forget I said that, but he does have that. He also can't, because of the cuffling, the shoulder thing, he cannot go that's pretty much as far as his arm can go, like to go upwards, because of the thing here. See, it kind of gets in the way of the collar, so he can't really get up that far. This thing moves along to cover any gaps, but you can, however, move the joint like that, so you can have it doing that. It does look weird like that, but you know, there's nothing that can be done. You know, that's a sacrifice. I mean, they could have gone the route where instead of having the cuffling on the shoulder, they could have had this piece attached to his collar, but on a hinge, so you can move it up and down, that kind of thing. That might have looked better, but also he doesn't have the feature like the most other SH figuarts, or at least the Iron Man figures, where you could pop out the shoulder a little bit to give him a little bit more range of movement. That would have been nice, but he doesn't have that. Anyways, he has a cut at the bicep, you know, nothing too fancy. Double jointed elbow and a ball hinge. Your basic SH figuarts flare. He has a very unique molded chest piece asked purposely to make it look like how he does on the movie or show, depending on your flair. Speaking of which, I kind of stopped watching Dragon Ball Super after like the first couple of episodes, but then again, I found out that they're just going to do like a retelling, and now apparently they're doing a tournament. I don't know. I was kind of like, I'm not as hyped on Dragon Ball as I used to be. It's not as interesting, but whatever. That's different subject. Anyways, his chest piece is molded to look how he appeared on the movie. It actually looks like a rib cage. However, because I thought it was molded like this, I thought he would get a little bit more range of motion on doing like a crunch. But really, that's as far as just move. This is just the upper piece, by the way, not the lower piece. But this is really as far as he can get. And I thought by pulling on the upper part, I can get a little bit more like a range of motion, but that doesn't happen. He can arch his back quite a bit. Let's see, without moving the bottom piece. Yeah, see, quite a bit, but there's an unsightly gap. But I think it's weird, like why, if it's molded like that, he should be able to crunch his upper chest a little bit more, and that's a shame, because most SH figuarts have their chest like that, like Kenny Command, where it goes across the chest, and he can get even more of a upper crunch than Beerus here, but that's besides the point. That's a nitpick on my part. He has the ability to you can separate his upper body from his lower body a little bit, but let me just show you without doing that first. This is as far as you can get down. This is as far as you can get upwards. Quite a bit, but that's mostly because of the upper chest. But if you pull on it, you can, let me just, yeah, see, it kind of went up a little bit, and now he has a little bit more range. See, a little bit more. It's not that noticeable, but he definitely has more of a crunch now, and more of an arch. So there's that. I was kind of worried when I first had him in my hands. I couldn't get the piece right there to pop out, but it does. By pop out, I don't mean like literally it comes out of his thing. I mean like there's a little mechanic where you can like pull on it, and then he gets a little bit more range of motion. He has this little, this thing is an entirely separate piece. I kind of wish this was on a hinge rather than this thing. It's definitely soft plastic, but I was hoping it would be like on a hinge where, not just a hinge where you can go up and down, but where you can move it side to side and up and down, that kind of thing, so it wouldn't get in the way. But it does a good job just at hiding the diaper lower half, so that's good that it's there, but I kind of wish it was on a hinge. Speaking of diaper, this is kind of the typical, if you don't know, the typical SH figuarts mold for the bottom piece, which was nice when you first saw the first Super Saiyan Goku SH figuarts, but however it's 2016, and now they've already released a few figures with a new type of mechanic or mold, and it works fantastic, so I kind of wish they start using that. But this little fabric piece does a good job at hiding the unsightly joints, because when you go like this you can't really see it, but when you go like that you can see the diaper effect. But I am glad this is here, so it kind of hides it. So he has ball joints at the thigh. You can see he gets quite a bit of range, and his tail just fell out behind my hand. I'll get to the tail in a bit. You can pull it down in typical SH figuarts fashion to get more range of motion. He has a double jointed knee, but that's as far as you can get because of his bulkiness of his pants. Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure this is an entirely new mold for his pants, because most other SH figuarts, Dragon Ball Z figures, aside from the bottom piece, the diaper piece, also the leg pieces are all the same on each figure. But on this one, it seems to be an entirely new mold, because it kind of gets like a skinny at the from the waist, and then it gets bulkier, and most of the other ones don't have that. So there's that. He has a ball jointed ankle. He can't get much. I kind of wish that piece was painted brown. You can kind of see his purple sticking out. But he has a ball jointed ankle and a hinge at the toe. And speaking of tail, this is his tail, which is pegged onto his little hole majigger there. I thought this was gonna be like when I first saw this, I thought this was a bendable tail. That would have been actually pretty cool if this was like bendable, but it's not. You know, come to think of it, that would have been cool if they included a bendable tail. Like aside from this solid one, they could have included another one, but it doesn't really matter because you can attach it here, and it is on a ball hinge. You can move it from this piece. You can get quite creative, so it doesn't really matter if it doesn't come with the bendable, but it would have been nice if it did. So there's that. There's his articulation. I'll show you what he comes with. But unfortunately, it's not that much aside from his stoic or brooding or nonchalant. What would be the word? Basic head. He comes with this screaming head, so you can have him yelling. See that? Which unfortunately, the paint on the white teeth, you can see it's kind of a little sloppy looking. Like it's not. I mean, you can see how it looks very weird looking. But like from the top, it looks nice. See that? But from the bottom, it's like that part should be painted like color of his tongue or something. But there's that. So he comes with that head. He comes with his yawning head, or this could count as either him yawning or eating something. Looks pretty good. I think it's cute looking. And that's all for his heads. I was kind of hoping he came with a smirking head. If you ask me, a smirking head would have been very nicely appreciated, or like a licking, he's licking his hands because he is a cat. Like he would, like a face. I believe it was in the movie or whatever, where he's licking his like that. You know, he's licking. That would have been cute. But he doesn't come with that either. For hand accessories, he comes with, aside from those two closed fists, he comes with these opened key blast hands, which is this is a standard for most SH figures. They all come with this kind of hand shaped thing. So there's that. It comes with those. He comes with only one of these little pinching, or they're supposed to indicate that he's eating something hand, where he's putting something in his in this kind of hand, face. So you can go like that. See? But there's that. Or you can count as a pinching. Oh, I was kind of hoping that I can make it look like he's scratching his head, but see, it looks good like that. But the way his thumb looks like it's like disjointed coming out of his. Anyways, that's something else. And he comes with these weird holding hands. See, they're meant to see. Looks like they're holding something. But unfortunately, he doesn't come with anything for him to hold on to, so this is kind of like a weird accessory, if you ask me. Like, he doesn't even come with utensils, so you can have him like eating something with that other face. So I don't know what was the point to include these hands. And recently they released the promotional pics for Whis, and or Whis, whatever his name is. And I'm not gonna get Whis. Simply because I don't really like him, or I don't really like his design. But I may even though I say I don't, I'm probably gonna end up getting him. But I thought for sure that Whis would come with like bonus accessories, you know, to give you an incentive to buy Whis. So they're like, hey, you buy Whis, and then you can get some extra heads or accessories for Lord Beerus, because that would have been that would have made sense, right? I mean, it would have sucked that you would have to buy a separate figure to get more accessories for him, but it would have made sense considering he doesn't come with much. But after looking at the promotional pics, there was no sign whatsoever that they were including anything bonus for Whis. So I don't understand what was the point of including these little holding hands. I mean, he can hold this flag. But this flag doesn't come with him. This is actually from another figure. I'm just saying that, I mean, I guess it's just to include so you can make him hold stuff from your collection, I guess. You know, it's kind of weird. I don't know the reasoning behind that. I believe I got mine for around below $40, around that range. I got mine on Amazon Japan. I'm not sure how he's going on other places, but that's how much I got him. I just wish he came with more, like, at least some more hands. He doesn't even come with those gripping hands, like he's gripping something. A little bit more hands, another head, or utensils, forks, that kind of thing, or food items. Would have been a perfect little accessory for this figure. He doesn't come with much. They could have gone all out, especially because he is a god. But I still think you should, if you're a fan of the character, you know, you might as well get him. You got nothing to lose. He's a cool figure. I just wish he came with more stuff. I could forgive the articulation though. That's alright, because he is a standard SH figuarts figure, even though I would have expected a little bit more from them. But there's that. Lord Beerus, I'm sorry to make this a review negative. Please don't destroy my home. Ah, shit, I'm sorry.